Okay, good. Hi, this is Helen with the Better Half blog. Today I wanted to share with you my functional planning method that I have discovered through much research, a lot of watching things and watching other people do things their way, and just bringing tidbits here and there to just personalize it for me. And it's been working so well. I kind of named my functional planning method. I named it Create Time because that's what I needed. I needed more time to do the things that really, really matter to me personally, because let's face it, who's going to take care of me? My mental well-being, my physical well-being, at the same time, get all these things done and stay motivated doing it, because that's what this mental well-being is all about, right? Less anxiety, more peacefulness and happiness, and a lot of energy to get things done. This is kind of like a 180 flip for me, because I used to be the total opposite. I was always complaining with 4 kids, a traveling husband that's gone half the year, and plus not enough help in my situation. With that being said, I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to share with you in details how I plan my day the day before. This is so exciting. I was just recording this video and I just received a message saying that something was delivered. So I ordered last week, end of last week, I ordered a new Hobonichi Weeks. The reason being is because, as you know, I was holding on to my Hobonichi Weeks, the mega version, in my Gillio, which I absolutely love. And honestly speaking, the way I am planning my functional method now, I am carrying this guy around all over the house. And even when I leave, I just clip it like this and I just take it on the go. But I realized, I was like, you know what? I don't need to do that if I need to jot down notes. And especially because, as you know, I do my budget and just like real-time variable expense tracking in my Hobonichi Weeks. So I decided I need something to carry around with me just in case like I am not bringing my planner and there's a meeting going on, or something like that, or some idea or inspiration comes through. I just want to jot it down. I always want to have a notebook ready to go. And I was thinking if I could just go to the dollar store and grab just any old notebook that'll just fit in here. But then I was like, no, because this is a Gillio and Gillios deserve a little thing better, right? So I ended up ordering this from Amazon, Japan. And literally it came in just a couple of days. So I'm really excited. I think I ordered it on the 7th, and today being the 11th, it came through real quick. So, all right. So the first thing I got is this Gibbon Techo stencil. And this stencil is the one that has little dinner, party, shopping, like flight, you know, those kind of little things, shapes. And I love this because I've been trying to get through on the Hobonichi store when I was ordering all my Hobonichis before to get that stencil, because as you know, I mentioned in the previous video that I do use this basic stencil from Hobonichi, but I really wanted this dinner set. To be honest with you, I know this is really, really sad, but I really wanted that dinner set. So I got that. So that's super exciting. That's going into my planners. And then the other thing I got is obviously the Hobonichi Weeks in the regular. And I got this chair. What's funny, super funny, I really love this. And I was trying so hard to get one of my kids one of these just so we could have it in the household. I know it sounds so sad. Never did they choose this design, and I was kind of saddened by it. And at the same time, this looks like a lonely chair, and so I didn't want to buy it for my kids. So I ended up not getting it. And then with this whole planning system coming into my play, I realized I need something to go in there, and boom, this was available. It's like one of the very few that were available right away for shipping. So I got it. So that was exciting. I just wanted to get that out of the way, and why make another separate video when I could just add it into this? So, okay, now let's go. For the purpose of this video, I decided to use my old Hobonichi from 2020, and I use it as a practice sheet every time I want to change my planning system. So this is just kind of like my practice Hobonichi Weeks. My real one that I do use on a daily basis looks like this, and I've shown it to you on the last video. This is what I ended up with. So I ended up with doing 33 out of 49 tasks. which is amazing. I am very proud of myself. And 16 of those just went and migrated to the next week. And so that all got migrated into here. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm using this Hobonichi Weeks to share with you some of the example tasks and schedules, events, things where I need to go out and do right here. So I made it super simple. I went up to 14 things to do. And basically how I get to this point is very simple. So the first thing I do is I mark off 2 colors. So I pick 2 colors. That means one is highlight and one is an event or things that I need to go outside of the house to do. With those 2 colors, I realized that simplicity is king in functional planning. And so these 2 are all I need to pay attention to in the beginning. Let's go through the line items. So here I have Zig clean colored dots in color yellow for my highlight, and then also purple one for the events or things where I need to go outside of the house to do. As I mentioned in the last video, and if you haven't watched it, I'll put the card up here. The first thing I do is I number 1 through 42 if I have that many tasks or things I brain dump into this page throughout the week or the week before. Next thing I do is I put a dot next to the number and then I start. I add my task, my schedules, anything. So I go into my monthly view and I have all the schedules laid out, right? Eye appointment, dental appointments, meetings, things that need to be done on that day. Then I color code it. So the purple means events. Repair violin. That's something I need to go out of the house to do. Right here, I'm going to put a colored dot in front of it. Next, bank. That's an outside of the house thing to do. Remember, yellow, for me, the highlights are things that I am going to put in as a must do on any particular day. And I only have 1 yellow going through the day. So that's not that important. It's just a task. So let's keep going. Return item. That's just a task. Plan socials. Now this is a project that is going to require more than 30 minutes of my time. So I am going to put it as a highlight. Email team, that's simple task. Group text, simple. Order list, and page number. So this is what I do. So again, simplicity is king in functional planning. And so whatever order list I have listed here, I would put down the page number here. So in the month of January, I color code all my January stuff in the blue. So to order list for me is right here. So these are all the things that I need to order, whether it's Costco, Amazon, Walmart, Whole Foods. It could be a planner item. It could be a furniture. Anything goes in here. So then I would put that page number 22 onto this page right here. And so I would put 22 so that I can reference that page. Okay. Then I go cleaners, pick up and drop off. Now that it requires me to leave the house. And so I am going to put a dot of purple. Update budget. Now that may require, and it really depends on you. For me, it doesn't require more than 30 minutes just because I am working on my budget every single day. Car wash. Okay, I have to leave the house to do that. Finish project. And that, my friends, will require more than 30 minutes of my time, so it's a yellow. Team Zoom meeting. So that's probably on a certain day, right? It's a schedule, so that's a purple. Track waiting on list. All my tracking stuff is in the back of my Hobonichi Weeks. So waiting on. So these are what I would be tracking. So I pick a day to just do that, and it's not such a huge task. And again, I would put that page number so I could reference it in the future. That's the first thing I do. Next, my method is all about planning 1 day ahead. So I'm only planning for 1 day. Here, I'm going to put 1 yellow dot, which is my highlight, a must do, something that requires a lot of attention, or things that will make me super achieved once it's done. I look at this and I go, what is the sense of urgency if I cannot decide on what day I'm going to do a certain task? On the bottom of that date, I would put the yellow dot, and then I would write finish project XYZ. Simple enough. Next, I look at the purples and I go, okay, what can I do on Monday and knock out for the rest of the week to be a little bit easier? And I go, okay, a car wash, that seems fair. Then I put the purple dot and I go, car wash. And while I'm there, I'm looking at other items and I'm like, is there anything else I could scratch off? Then I would go and say cleaners, pickup. It's right across the street, to be honest with you. So then I just put another dot and I go pick up and drop off cleaners. So those are my 2 errand runs on Monday. Then I go and pick out the other regular dot tasks. These are now just simple tasks, or maybe it requires up to 30 minutes of my time, but they're tasks that I need to get done anyway. I like to only pick 5 at the most. Now on this type of a week, I don't have that many tasks. I might want to just pick 1 or 2 tasks to divide it throughout the week. So mail out S's gift. So that's 1. Next one, I want to knock out maybe return item. Done. So that is how my day is going to run. And now remember, I'm putting all my work tasks as well as my home personal tasks in one. There's not a separate planner set for work and a planner set for personal. I want to keep everything in one place so I can look at it at a glance, whether I'm at work, at the office, or at home working, or I'm running errands, I am able to see it all at a glance. So again, messy planning here. Then I go to my Hobonichi daily. First thing I do is I take my stencil, the basic one, right next to the first line, I take the diamond shape. I just follow it. Okay, and then I write highlight. Next thing I do is right next to the number 18, right under it, I put a square. Here I put tasks or to-dos, right? Then next to that, and I go bam, pretty cool. Then under, right as it ends the hours here, and right under it, I go and trace a triangle. And next to that, I go habits, goals, because all my goals, remember, are included in my habits. Next to that, where this darker line ends, right next to that, I put a heart. Reflection. And under that heart, going down the middle, I trace the dotted line. Done. Next thing I do is I color code my system. The reason why is because I like to track my time. So I have all these colors. You can use your zig color dots, or you could have the matching colors to go with it. Either way works fine. But for me, it's easier to work with the Tombow, so I just been doing that. With the highlight, it's a yellow, as you've seen here. For the test, I like to use this light blue. For the habits and goals, I like to use the dark blue because I want to pay a lot of attention this year on my habits to reach my goals. And for reflection, I use this beautiful pink color from Tombow. And that's how I set it up in the beginning. Next, I have these 2 zig color dots. And what I do is I look at my weeks and I go, okay, what did I plan for today? First thing I would do is I would put the yellow dot and I would say, finish project XYZ. Keeping it simple. And next to that, I put the line number. Pick up that line number from the Hobonichi weeks, which is 12. I don't want to spend the time because typically what my week looks like is like this. I don't want to spend the time to look for that line item once I want to check it off so that I don't have to worry about it on the next day. When I check off and close out the day, I can cross it off right away. Number 12, done. The next thing I do is I pick out my purple and I go, okay, what are some scheduled things or things that I have to do outside of my home? I have 2 purples here, so 2 dots for 2 purples. And I go car wash. Then I go pick up cleaners. So cleaners. The small task that I have to get done on that day is mail as his gift and return item. So under tasks is where I put mail out as his gift and return item. Dot return item. I have a list here on my sticky notes. Now this comes from all my goals. In my process of planning out my goal for what I need to get done on a daily basis to meet and exceed my goals, this is it. So I actually copy all this down, and for the purpose of this video, I'm going to fast forward it. So these are my habits and goals that I am working on every single day of 2021 to accomplish my goals. Next, I go back to my week. In my weeks, I manage my time here. I plan out my time on the left side of that day, and on the right side is where I actually put what happened throughout the day. Because life is like that. You have how you plan to use your hours, and then what actually happens. Kids happen, life happens, husband happens, emergencies happen. So my day seems to be a little bit different. When you go to your week, you're gonna have this color coding system to control your time. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors to represent something different. Let's go down the line. Yellow is for highlight, keeping it very simple throughout the planner. Pink is for cooking time. Dark blue is for the habits to reach my goals. Light blue are those secondary tasks that we picked out, those regular dots. Brown is for rest. So anytime I feel like taking a little break, I don't consider it procrastination necessarily because sometimes a girl needs a break. Purple for schedule, and again, those out of house tasks. Now gray is for procrastination. I have not been using gray since I started scheduling out my day. And the red represents squeezed in tasks because I'm done with everything else. So these are like surprising emergency tasks, things that happen out of the blue, or tasks that I just took away from that line here because I am done with my day nice and early. Now I'm going to go back to my weeks, or you can go flip back and forth between the daily that you just spread out. Here, I'm going to look, okay, finish project XYZ. You kind of have an idea of how long this project is going to take. So I will say, for example, this project will take me 2 hours. I look throughout my hours and I say, okay, I know what hours I don't need to be doing something. So then I plan it out first. Between 10 and 12. For 2 hours is where I'm going to work on my highlight. Now, suppose you wake up at 6. Remember your routine, habits, and goals is that dark blue color. From 6 to 9, you're doing your habits and routines to reach your goals. Then a part of my routine is to feed the kids at 9. So I spend a good 30 minutes doing that with the kids. At 12, I'm feeding my kids lunch. At 6, I am starting to cook dinner and I'm going to actually eat dinner. I covered my routine with the habits. I've covered the meals. I've covered my most important highlight task of the day. Now I'm going to look at my purples. So these are errands that I have to run out and do. So when am I going to run out to the car wash and to pick up cleaners and drop off cleaners? Right after lunch, between 12:30 and 1:30, I will be out of the house. So that represented by the color purple here. So I'll be out for an hour. Now, I have all this rest of the time to work on my other tasks, the secondary tasks. I'm only going to require probably an hour or an hour and a half at max to get these two things done. Then you have all this other time. You can either work on your habits and your routines. For example, for me, I work out. I declutter 20 minutes and I clean for 15 minutes, a deep clean, or read. I then take my routine highlighter and I just color it in. I like to spend a good chunk of time for my workouts, my reading time, so on and so forth. Then for the rest of the time after 7, right here, I'm going to call it a day because I only had 2 secondary tasks and I was done with it. So I am going to rest the remaining hours. So that's how I would schedule out and time block my day. Now each day might be a little bit different because for me, it was a little bit different on certain days. Like the weekend, I like to wake up and start my day around 8:30. Now I did start getting up at around 7 and 7:30, but typically it's a later start than the weekdays. And it also varies by schedule. If I have something that I need to go out and do, it also varies. It also varies when I have more secondary tasks on a certain week. It also varies when my highlight only takes 5 minutes to do. You know, those simple applications that you just have to fill out online and sometimes you just put it off and it has to have an excuse for why it's not getting done. Well, those are also becoming my highlights so that I can be done with it and feel so motivated and pumped to get the rest of the secondary tasks checked off. So that's how it varies. Once you have done that, throughout my highlight work, I am actually taking notes here. When I run out of note space here, then I go to the back of my Hobonichi weeks or in a different journal to help me pick up where I left off. And I would just jot down the page number and which journal I put that in. So I could always reference it later on. Once I start on my tasks, as I scheduled my day, same thing. I would start on this task and right next to there is a little bit of space right here. And that's where I would add the actual time that I did it. So the duration is very easily seen for me in case I want to check back. How long did I take to budget last week? How long did I take to close out my budget last week? Or things like that. That's why I want to track my time here. It also works as a time reminder of how to fill out my weeks here. I could go throughout the day to highlight and color in what actually happened on the right side of this day, or I can just use this as a reference and do it at the end of the day as I close out my day. Once I check off and X off every habit, task, highlight, and sometimes I don't, and that's totally fine. And then at the end of the day, I go through and I reflect on the day. And it's literally just bullet points. I just put a dot and I just write some facts. What happened? And it also kind of helps me to make this a place to reference in case I miss journaling at the end of the day. What happened? Who did what? Where did I lag? Where was a win? Where was a fail? Where can I try something better tomorrow? That's what goes in my day closeout reflection. So that's what I have for you here. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I hope that this helped you or inspired you in some way to keep motivated and get supercharged to win your day and work one step closer towards your goals, finishing off all your tasks and crossing off each day a big highlight of the day. Thank you for watching. This was Helen. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.